Hello again. We're gonna try this again to see if we can get this. I think we've got it figured out. So today we have Louise McNaught, and I am so excited to have her on. I've been following her for a while on Instagram because obviously I like animal paintings, or I do animal paintings, and so does she, but she does them in the most unique way. I remember seeing one of the first times some of her posts, and I was like, what? I never thought to do that, you know? Like, she basically turns it upside down, drips it, and then turns it right side up. And I was like, oh, how original. Man, I can't believe I didn't think of that. It was the first thing I thought, really, because I was like, that's so cool. So yeah, I'm super excited just to hear her story and her art tips for you guys and her accent, really. So yeah, we're just waiting for her to get on here. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, let's see. Let me refresh. We just had some technical errors like we do with almost every single one of these things. Let's see. Let me just pull this up here. Okay, let me try to add her again. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Is it letting you press the add, press the add button down below. Oh, here we go. It's adding. Let's see. Will it go this time? Oh, connecting. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. That was really difficult.
Yeah.
I hate
Do you have headphones?
Do you have headphones?
What is that noise?
What is that noise?
Is that better?
Kinda. Do you have headphones?
Do you have headphones?
I can go and find some.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
If not, it has like an
If not, it has like an echo.
We got this.
We got this.
What is that noise?
What is that noise?
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, no.
What does it sound like?
What does it sound like to you guys?
Noise.
Noise.
Just like background
Just
noise?
like background noise.
Can you hear me echo?
Can you hear me echo?
We might have to start over
We're gonna
again.
have to start over again.
We got it.
We got it.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, we got it.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
No, you're completely fine. That's okay. We always have these kind of technical issues with something like this.
I haven't actually done one of these before.
Yeah, no, most people haven't, but I'm so happy that you took the time to come on here and do it with us. So don't even think twice about it. Things like this happen all the time.
Okay. So hi.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Yeah, so I was just telling them how I found you on Instagram maybe like a year ago, and I thought it was just so cool and unique how you do the drips kind of a thing with your paintings.
Oh, thanks.
And yeah, because I was seeing it, I was like, why didn't I think of that? Because I paint animals as well. And yeah, so but if you could just kind of introduce yourself for someone who maybe doesn't know who you are, I feel like I follow you on Instagram, so I feel like I kind of know you a little bit, you know. So, but if you
Yeah,
would
well,
just
you've got a huge following on Instagram, haven't you?
kinda.
Yeah, it's great. Mine's not quite so, yeah, not quite so big.
It is though.
I
You're at like 20,000. That's a lot.
Yeah, I suppose I haven't given it as much time as I should maybe. But yeah, I'm a contemporary animal artist. I guess that's the best way to describe my work. And it's kind of known by, I don't know if you can see, I've got a picture in process over here, upward drips.
Oh wow.
So that's kind of like what people recognize my work for, and it's something I started doing during college. I sometimes don't have the drips, but I do have them in most of the pieces. So
Yeah.
yeah, and the bright coloured backgrounds, and there's some of animals that are only partially like there, especially the endangered species. They kind of look like they're fading away.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. I never really kind of put that together actually, but now that you said that, I'm like, oh yeah.
It makes sense.
Yes.
It makes sense in some way. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So how did you get your start? Like, did you go to, do you guys call it uni over there?
Yeah, sorry, art college or art university.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I did bits. I did it sort of part time before I went to art college, and then once I was doing my course, I kind of it gave me the sort of focus to make it a full time thing.
Yeah.
But I always wanted it to be a full time thing. I just didn't know how, and I had to kind of. I think the internet helped,
Yeah.
but I had to kind of find my way. Helped find galleries anyway.
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. Okay, so what do you think the tipping point was that like took you from like hobby artist to professional artist? Like, was there like a certain
Um,
moment or a process?
I think yeah. I started. I joined a gallery called Degree Art during my degree, and they kind of focused on like degree artists that have just finished their degree or recently finished their degree, and graduate artists, and sold their work sort of predominantly in London. And I was with them sort of for 3 years, and they sold a lot of my work, and then I sort of branched out from there really.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So is that like a London-based thing?
Yeah, they are. They used to be in Bethnal Green, but now they're sort of more in central London. So I'm still
Awesome.
with them.
Yes, I wonder if there's
Yeah.
more of those around. Like that sounds that sounds like a very practical thing to have, especially I mean with artists. Like it's kind of hard to figure out what you do afterwards. So did they help you like get into galleries and
No, I mean I was exclusive with them,
oh,
but
okay.
that was fine to start with because I was still doing my degree and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
um, so
I don't know that any
yeah,
of us
no.
really do.
Yeah, no, it was fine. But then after 3 years, I thought, oh, I want to try and see what galleries are out there, and so
Yeah.
I went a bit further afield and joined more.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So what makes up your typical work day? Like how many hours do you spend painting a day? What does it look like? Do you have a routine?
Kind of. My little girl goes to school I'm back by about 9, and then I work sort of typically 9 till 5 while she's at school, and then she goes to her grandparents after school, and then she comes back and she goes to bed at about 7, and then I start working out from 7 till late at night. So
Dang. Dang.
yeah.
The mini studio hours of an artist. Dang.
Yeah, but I have to kind of I can't just I can't just wake up and do it. A lot of artists I know work at night time, but I can't really do that because she wakes up at about 5 in the morning.
Whew.
So
Yeah.
I have to stop around sort of probably 10, 11,
Yeah.
try and get some sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, could you talk us through your painting process? Like, are there any methods or techniques that you've picked up throughout the years? So, do you do the drips like halfway through, or is that a final thing, or?
Well, if I show you this one I'm doing at the moment, that might be easier to explain. So
Yeah.
I kind of spray paint the background,
Okay.
and then I'm at the stage where I sort of roughly do the underpainting in acrylic, and then I turn it upside down and do the drips in acrylic. And then the next stage is to do all sort of the fine detail in oils. And I use fast drying oils called alkyds. But every
No.
time I mention them to people, they go, "What are those?"
Yeah.
So I don't know if a lot of people use them, but
No.
they're just like oils. They just dry in a day instead of like weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, they're
So
good.
something a little bit less fast drying than acrylics. And
Yes, yes. Acrylics dry too fast, really.
yeah.
So I don't really like doing the fine detail in those.
Yeah, for sure.
What do
Okay.
you use?
I use acrylics. So I'm like,
All acrylics.
nope, just acrylics.
Wow.
Yeah, I have no patience at all. So I'm like, okay, that's dry. Okay, layers. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's why I use fast drying oils, but they still take a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything you don't like to paint without? Like any kind of brushes or any kind of,
Um, I like to make sure I've got quite a lot of brushes. I go through a lot of brushes.
yeah.
I'm not too fussy about makes of brushes, but I do have the makes that I like of, the paints and stuff. I'm kind of fussy about which canvases I use as well. I like this certain brand because they're smooth
Yeah.
and the drips can go straight
Okay.
rather than well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I suppose there are some things.
What kind of brand do you use for canvases?
I don't know if you heard of Bellarti. They're like an Italian canvas brand. They're sort of they're not hugely expensive, but they're sort of in intermediate range.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not like couldn't even tell you what kind of canvases these are. Like I just kind of pick them up from wherever. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I used to do until I started doing the drips, and then I was like,
Oh,
oh, I really wish they were straight.
yeah.
'Cause they used to be like,
Oh,
yeah,
really? Oh, man. Live and
yeah,
learn. Yeah.
mm. Yeah.
Um,
If you go,
sorry.
sorry,
No, you're good. Go on.
no, if you look at my work back a few years, the lines aren't so straight.
Oh, really? I'm gonna
So
go back and look now. But
Google me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You paint quite a bit. So, like, how many? Like, do you get maybe like one done a day or one done every couple of days? Like, I feel like you out like there are so many paintings of yours. I'm like, man, she really gets it.
Yeah, I suppose I do quite a lot. I think I did about 15 total last year, so that's roughly one complete painting a week, but I normally do them on rotation. So whilst one's drying, I can do some more bits of another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it keeps it a bit more interesting as well because I get bored quite easily.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me about your bees? Like, I know I saw you doing like they're on fire.
Yeah, so I've just done a honeybee on fire, and I'm doing another one actually. I don't know if you can see it's right back there in black,
Okay.
but I haven't done much of it. And yeah, I suppose initially they were falling, and now I've got them sort of bursting into flames because it's just kind of commenting on how we're treating them. Really, we're not really looking after them, so it's like they're almost burning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sad. Okay.
It
Yeah.
is sad. It was sad, and I was doing an art fair at the weekend, and people were commenting. I was like, "Oh, the bees, so sad." I was like, "Yes, I know."
Well,
Yes,
you're raising awareness towards it at least. So
I'm
maybe,
trying. Yeah, and that's why I did a book with Big Picture Press as well called Survival. It's all about the endangered species and facts about them, and sponsored by Tusk, so it raises money for them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and they're actually releasing it in America soon, so that's cool.
That is so cool.
Um,
How I have so many questions about that. How did that go about? So did they reach out to you or what? How did?
yes, they saw my work at an art fair, and they asked if I wanted to illustrate sort of a pre-existing children's book, and I was like, well, that sounds very nice, but I'm not an illustrator. And they're like, what are you working on now? And I was doing a solo show called Survival on endangered animals. And they were like, oh, there might be a book in that. And so 2 years later, it was a book. But it was quite a long process, 2 years. But then, so they've sold quite a lot in the UK, and then they reached out to a publishers called The Running Press in the US, and they bought 15,000 copies off them. So there'll be some there soon. I
Wow.
think in the summer sometime.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So 2 years. Man, I'm stuck on that. Like, so is that a lot of like, is that how long it like took you to make
Paint
all
all
of
the
them?
animals.
Or yeah.
Yeah, because we had to decide on what animals to do,
Okay.
and yeah, there was a bit of kind of like decision making because they wanted a giraffe at one point, and they're like, no, they're not endangered enough, and then um, some animals I just thought they're going to be hard to paint, but like the rhino, but it turned out okay in the end. It just took a long time. It took a month, which is a long time for me
Yeah.
to spend on a painting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that was, and they had, they do a lot of the research, and they had to find a writer and have it all fact checked and everything, and yeah,
Yeah, but that's kind of nice that you because you get to focus on the part you're really good at and they get to kind of do the other stuff.
the publishing side,
Yes.
yeah, yes, no, I didn't have to worry about that, thankfully, because I wouldn't know what to do.
Yes. Yeah. I'm in the middle of making like a how to paint animals book, which is why I'm really interested in it. And
Oh,
it's like a just like a 6 step process per animal and I'm like just getting through the whole thing. I'm like this is a lot. Like this is like if it's not
yeah,
yeah, if it's not painting then I just kind of get a little bored with it. So it's kind of been sitting there for a second. I need to get back on it. So yeah,
oh,
let's see.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Are there any art lessons that you've learned the hard way?
Um, yes, probably thousands.
Yeah.
I'm very good at failing. Yes, don't be afraid to fail. That's a good one.
Oh, good.
Um, fail lots and fail well. Um,
Fail
what
with a
else have I
smile.
learned?
Yeah.
Yes, fail over and over and over again. Um, yes, obviously don't be afraid of rejection. You're going to be rejected a lot if you're approaching galleries.
Okay.
Um, what else? I would say maybe don't be exclusive with a gallery. Mind you, it worked out okay for me, but it doesn't always work out well for me. It depends on the gallery, I think. If you're going to be exclusive, you have to do your homework and make sure you're going to get a hell of a lot of exposure. There have to be quite a big gallery um, to do that. To ask for that as well, it's not really done that much anymore, I don't think. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Um, don't do open edition prints. I did a few of those and regretted it
Why?
quite a few years ago because well, it kind of devalues, if you ever wanted to do limited editions, it kind of devalues them, and well, people actually ended up thinking they were fake because I had quite a lot of limited editions out, and then people would come across these open editions that I did with this company, and they were just like, what are these, they're not even signed by you.
Oh,
So yeah, I'd probably say if you can avoid it, don't do open editions, because and those things can hang around for a very long time.
yeah.
So yeah, it's nice that they're not around anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say don't do open editions if you can help it, because limited editions are probably a better way to go for sort of fine art.
Okay. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay.
From my experience anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay, so oh, sorry. Do you have a favorite past painting or project or something you worked on?
Oh God, a favorite painting. The thing is, it's always the last thing you've painted.
Yeah.
Uh, um, because I just painted a really quite graphic burning bee in the dark, and I was like, oh. At first I wasn't sure about it, and I was like, I'm not sure about this, so I asked for people's opinions on it, and everyone really really liked it. So I was like, okay, I think I like it now.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I guess I like it too. Okay.
Well, it's just sometimes things look better in my head, and they don't end up quite that way on the canvas. So I need to think, oh, I wonder if that's how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like that one, but it is literally normally the last thing I've painted. So
Yeah, because it's the last thing you paint is the thing you paint the best, right? Because like
yeah,
you look at things from like a couple years ago, and I'm like, ah, like that's all right.
I don't like looking at things from, I sometimes come across them in sort of clients' houses or something, and then I'm like, oh no, not that one.
Yeah, you're like, thank you for
But
paying me for that.
yes, ugh. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, I don't like seeing old work, but
Yeah, it happens. What are your future art plans or goals? Do you have any upcoming paintings that are in the works, or what's going on over there?
Um, well, I'm doing another B for I've got a solo show next month in London.
Oh
So
wow.
that's the last painting for that. Um, yeah, it's been a very busy May. I've had 3 art fairs and a group show, and I've still got to do this solo show, and I've got another sort of art yard sale next weekend in Brighton. Um, but yeah, I suppose the solo show is quite a big commitment. So
Yeah, I bet. I've actually never had one. So, like,
really,
well,
oh,
like
you've got such a big following. Why haven't you had a solo show?
Instagram stuff. That's just Instagram. I feel like they're all like foreign men anyway. I don't know. So,
Well, you could hire somewhere and have your
I
own.
should. I should. I know. So most of my stuff is murals. So it's like I paint murals for businesses, and so it's like,
Really?
but I should. You're right. I should just do like a solo show. I think I've done like one mini one to graduate college because you had to, right? But
Yeah.
not since.
Would
But,
you make the murals into prints or
um, not
no?
really. They're usually kind of like something off the wall. Like
Specific.
yeah, like kind of maybe like business specific. Like we did one that was like cowboys and aliens at a golf course. I'm like,
Oh
yeah.
God.
But you never know. Yeah. So how many pieces do you have in your show?
Um, well, there's a lot of framed prints, so I think it's going to be over 20, but actual paintings will be like 8 or 9.
Meaning.
Um, yeah, that I did specifically for it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you put prints up as well.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
it's in this place that's quite a big building. It's called the Royal Overseas League, and it's like a very old building, and it's very regal, and it's in a posh part of London, and it's
Ooh,
got lots of rooms, so they're sort of putting things all over the place.
that is so fun. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Just like because I think it's just because I'm so far away. You're like, I have a show in London and I'm like starry-eyed. Like that's so cool. We're here in like the Midwest of the United States. There's like a bunch of cows everywhere and stuff, so it's not as glamorous.
So it's very rural.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
See, is there any advice that you could give artists who want to make art their full-time career but just don't know where to start? Like, where's a good starting point?
Well, Instagram, isn't it? Do you,
Yeah,
do you sell stuff on Instagram?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
kinda. Yeah,
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook are quite a good way to start, and they're free,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and your own website is quite important, I think, or at least having a sort of website kind of presence on these platforms, and making sure people can buy off your website and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very important, and it sort of gets you out there, in an easy way where you can sort of do it anytime. if you have to keep a job down or something whilst you're trying to get out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So do you have like an Instagram routine? Like, do you post like once a day, a couple of times a week? Like, what is your?
I try and post once a day, and I also do the Instagram stories. I try and do it a couple of times a day, especially if I'm doing something interesting, but it can be a bit hard
Yeah.
sometimes because of the time it takes, And I've got two accounts, and sometimes I have to do separate ones for each account, and it gets a bit like and Facebook and Pinterest and
All the things, yeah. YouTube,
and all of them.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I haven't got on very much on YouTube, but
yeah.
yeah,
So do
I don't
you
have
have a
time.
personal account on Instagram and you have a business account, or what is this?
Well, no, it's what it is I've just recently, I mean, I've got two business accounts kind of. I've got
Okay.
my artist account, and then I've just opened another one called a gallery account because I noticed on my old account, which I started in like 2012, that the reach has gone right down to, however many people. It went from like roughly 800 or 900 likes for a image right down to like 100 or 200 on average.
Oh,
And so it seems to have, for some reason, it seems to have got really narrow. When they brought out that new algorithm,
hmm,
it was the beginning of the year or something.
yeah.
And so a friend of mine who's got another account that they'd opened quite recently noticed that it was a much higher level of engagement.
Hmm.
And they think it's to do with the fact that it's a newer account. And I have noticed that actually on my new account, there's much more percentage of people. Like there's only 200 people on there, but up to 50 will respond, which is a quarter, which is nothing like the old account.
Yeah. Huh. I
If
wonder
that
why.
makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody was telling me recently, actually haven't done it, but I could probably Google it. You can go on there and you can go into this website and it will like delete all of the inactive users from your Instagram. And they say that might be like, they're the ones that haven't been active for over a week or over a month or something
Okay.
like that, because that could be like your follower to interaction ratio. But a lot of people won't do it because that's deleting a number off of their thing, and that's why I don't want to do it. I'm like, no,
I
honey.
know it'll be like, oh, I've gone from 20,000 down to like a couple of thousand or something. I don't know
No.
because it's such an old account. I started it when Instagram was very new.
Yeah,
So yeah, there must be definitely quite a lot of inactive users on there
yeah, for sure.
for sure. I might try
Yeah, dang algorithm. Yeah, I
that.
might. I'm not gonna try it. I don't want my number to go down.
I
But yeah,
think it seems to be going fine for you. I don't think
yeah.
you need to
Okay,
change anything.
maybe, maybe. Yeah, yeah. Hashtags are working or something.
Yes. Do you use a
Okay.
lot of hashtags still?
Sometimes, when I think about it, if I
Yeah.
sometimes I'll like at night, I'll pre-plan what I'm going to post the next day or in the next couple of days. That way, when I'm working, I can just like post, and that way I can I'll tag featured accounts too. So like those art featuring
Oh.
accounts that like you can pay like $10 or something to get featured on their thing, and you get a couple hundred followers. I've done that quite a bit. So it's like investing. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're strange those accounts, aren't they?
Hmm.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
do seem to work.
Yeah, I feel like from those accounts, I get more artists than not.
Yeah.
So, which is great for this Artist Academy stuff because
Yeah.
that's that. But I don't know that I get many art buyers from doing that.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
No, it's probably all artists, but that's still nice,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do you guys have Ben Fluno says, "Hi, Louise. I know we had a couple people in here. Julie Westmore too said that she had been to one of your shows. Um, which,
Oh, that's
yeah.
nice.
So a couple people on here because I put in your photos and was like, we're gonna have Louise on tomorrow, and they were really excited. They know who you were.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I recognize Ben Flino. He sometimes gives me sort of like emojis and stuff.
yeah,
A lot actually. He's
yeah.
very active, so that's nice.
Same. Yeah, that's awesome. We need more of those people on our Instagram being active.
Yes, encouraging people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for just hopping on and just answering some questions. I
That's
really liked
okay.
hearing your accent, actually. I think that's so cool.
I don't think I've got an accent, but I suppose I must do to the US maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Ben says I spend way too much time on Insta. Is what Ben says. No, keep on at it, Ben. We
It's
appreciate it.
fine. We don't mind. We like the positivity.
Yes, we do. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you again. And yeah, this interview is
That's okay.
basically I'm doing a series of them. It'll be on a podcast here next week too, and it's really just to inspire aspiring artists to be like full-time artists like you. And so I'm sure that you've done that to
Yeah.
a couple people in here at least. But yeah, thank you for taking the time, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Speak to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.